update you today on the recount process, where we are, and some of the events that took place today. As you're aware, we would have completed day 12 today in relation to the recount, and as such, it is a good time for us to evaluate where we are and what is required for us to complete this task within a time frame of 25 days. It is my hope that all our energies and all our focus would be on ensuring that every possible solution, every possible idea in order to complete this task within a time frame is pursued and implemented by the Guyana Elections Commission in ensuring that we have these results in a credible manner within a time that the Commission would have earmarked for us to have the results. Notwithstanding this, however, it is important for me to go over some of the key questions, some of the key concerns that we would have had over the last 12 days, key questions that we still are seeking answers for, key questions that a lot of members of the government would have evaded or are trying to redirect the narrative away from these questions. So I just want to sum up some of the key questions that we need answers for, some of the key questions that members of the government must come clean about, must provide answers for. For example, some of the unanswered questions are: one, where did Mingo got his numbers from? The numbers that form part of Mingo's tabulation, where did he get those numbers from? We saw on one of his declaration the signature of Ms. Valda Lawrence. Was she involved in getting the now famous Mingo's declaration? The second question is, in whose possession is the Commission's SOPs? In whose possession is the Commission's SOPs? And when will these SOPs be released? Similarly, the question is, where are the SOPs from the coalition? And when will they release their SOPs? Thirdly, having regards to the fraudulent tabulation by Mingo for District 4, how come Patterson recently said that their SOPs are consistent with Mingo's fraudulent numbers? Mr. David Patterson said that his numbers are consistent with Mingo's numbers. And from the recount process, the statement of recount and the statement of polls, it is clear that Mingo's number are fraudulent and fabricated. So is Mr. David Patterson showing his hand here? Was there collaboration or collusion in coming up with these numbers, and who were involved? The fourth question, if so, and that is what I just asked you, who were involved? Who created the fictitious documents? Who directed that a fictitious tabulation be used? These are all outstanding questions that we are still awaiting the answers for. The fifth question, why did CATIU lied about claims and objection period, claiming that the claims and objection period was shortened and abandoned? Why did she lie about this? What is the agenda? What is our agenda in lying about this? So the seventh question, why did the government claim victory on an election now that some of them are claiming is not credible? After making comments, it was the best elections, free and fair elections. All of these questions point to a singular direction, and that direction is a government or a coalition that is seeking to derail the narrative, to create their own narrative, to move away from the facts, to redirect attention from what actually took place, and to now place their loss into a place in which they're trying to create a situation where the victory of the PPP seems not credible. It is psychological warfare. But this is not a game. This is the future of our country we're talking about. This is the future of the people of our country we're talking about. So these are questions that are critical. These are questions that we need answers for. However, we cannot dwell or place all our energies on these questions alone. We have to ensure that we move forward too. We move forward in completing this process and bringing back our country to normalcy. Bringing back our country to a situation in which we can address the many issues facing us. And in the coming week, I would want to take some time to address some of the economic hurdles that we'll have to cross in the immediate and short term. These are things that we have to address our mind to. I'm very happy today that the President would have reiterated that GCOM is independent. GCOM is an independent commission. But we cannot hide under this statement all the time, and then by our action, we take away that independence from GCOM. What do I mean? Here is a question. Why then GCOM needs the COVID task force to approve additional stations, although they'll be observing the COVID protocols with these additional stations? GCOM is ready. They're ready to implement the additional stations, but they're awaiting the approval of the COVID task force. Isn't that contradictory to what the President said today? Isn't that taking away the independence of GCOM? And you cannot hide under the COVID protocols, because GCOM, you have established those protocols, and GCOM will be working within the confines of those protocols. And talking about protocols, why would the head of the COVID task force and 5 of his colleagues breach the protocol when they visited GCOM yesterday? They did not observe the protocol. They did not have their temperatures checked. They drove in and went straight into the building. So when we talk about the independence of GCOM, we have to ensure that government is not using its arm to undermine that independence. But I'm happy that the President reiterated that GCOM is independent. And I hope GCOM was listening themselves. And GCOM would now take the necessary steps to ensure they implement the additional stations to complete the task of this recount within a 25 days time frame. This is critical. This is important. And GCOM cannot say they're waiting on anyone. It's an independent commission. And once they observe the protocols, which they've already put in place, then there should be no humbug in the implementation and bringing to fore those new stations in advancing the recount. So today, as I speak to you, up to yesterday, we would have completed 530 boxes. Today it is anticipated, well, they're not completed as yet. As I speak to you, it is anticipated that approximately 60 boxes may be completed. That would mean that from tomorrow, we have about 1,749 boxes that will remain to be checked. For us to complete the recount within the 25 days time frame, therefore, it would mean that we'll have to complete an approximately 135 boxes from tomorrow henceforth. It is clear that with the existing stations, we cannot complete 135 boxes every day. Even if you go with the highest productivity so far, which should be today, of 60 boxes, it means you'll be short of 75 boxes every day. You'll be short of 75 boxes every day. This reinforces the urgent need for those additional stations. The urgent need to implement the decision of having these additional stations coming into operation. I hope that very early tomorrow morning, the Commission could meet and in an independent manner move forward in bringing these stations into operation. Having said that, there are some important decisions today also, or statements today, that were made that I want to bring to the attention of our viewers and fellow Guyanese. One is that the tabulation for District Number 1 or Region Number 1 has been completed. You know, yesterday there was a debate in relation to the issuing of the certificate. Well, today that tabulation was completed and parties would have signed off, and as I speak to you, they are awaiting the certificate from GCOM. So it would seem as if we have crossed that hurdle. But as I speak to you, they are awaiting the certificate from GCOM. The President today reiterated his commitment, not only the commitment of himself, but as head of his party list and government and the government he leads, to abide and respect the results of the recount. These are some of the important decisions and statements that would have been made today. Of course, a journalist would have raised with the President the statement by Basil Williams in relation to the legality of the recount, and the President response was, he is the leader of the coalition, he is the president, and he intends to abide by the outcome of the recount. So, fellow viewers, I know the anxieties are high out there. I know the patience of many is being tested. But I assure you, the prospects of a brighter future, a stronger future, and a future in which we can build a country we'll all be proud of, is much more important. We have to learn from these lessons. We have to learn, and we have to now appreciate, especially the younger generation, who are playing an integral role in securing this democracy. They have marked their names in the history of our country. And all of Guyana would have learned throughout this period how important yet fragile democracy can be. With these few words, I want to wish every Guyanese well, ensure you and your families continue to stay safe, observe the COVID protocol. For those Guyanese who are in the final 10 nights of Ramadan, continue to seek the blessings and mercies that comes with this period. To all Guyanese, we must remember to lift our country up also in prayers so that we can all together get through this difficult period in our history, and at the end of the day, create and build a stronger tomorrow. God bless all of you and your families. Thank you very much.